Hello and welcome. You all might already recognize me. My name is Ted Bundy. It's a curious thing, you know. Looking back, it's as if there were two sides of me, two personas intertwined. On the one hand, there was the charming and charismatic Ted, the one everyone saw, a student, a friend, someone pursuing a law degree. But then, there was the other side, the darker, compulsive force that drove me down a path of destruction. You see, I wasn't always the way the world came to know me. My childhood, filled with secrets and confusion, set the stage for the struggles that followed. There were questions about my true parentage, a sense of detachment from my stepfather, and a growing fascination with violent and sexual content that I didn't quite understand at the time. Looking back, those early signs were indicative of the turmoil within me. As I grew older, my inability to connect with people, to truly feel a part of something, gnawed at me. Rejection, especially from those I desired most, fueled a resentment that simmered beneath the surface. My relationships often ended in heartache, a reflection of my inability to truly understand human emotions. The fantasies were where it began, where the lines between reality and my own disturbing desires began to blur. These imaginings started innocently enough, but they grew darker, more intense. The power, the control, those were the things I yearned for. And as time went on, those fantasies took on a life of their own, a life I couldn't control. The first time I gave in to those impulses, I felt a rush unlike anything before. It was as if a floodgate had been opened, and there was no turning back. The thrill of the hunt, the capture, and the eventual act itself, each phase was like a drug, an addiction I couldn't break free from. I became adept at presenting a façade, hiding my true self behind a mask of charm and normalcy. That was perhaps the most twisted part of it all, the ability to manipulate those around me, to gain their trust, and then shatter it all with a single action. It was as if I were living two lives, both Ted, but one was a monster I could barely contain. The killings, they were never about the victims themselves. They were about the power, the dominance, the satisfaction of finally controlling something in a world that had always eluded my grasp. The violence grew more brutal, the acts more depraved. The lines between right and wrong blurred further, until there was only darkness even in the midst of my crimes. I maintained a sense of detachment, as if I were an observer of my own actions. The aftermath, the dumping of bodies in remote areas, the meticulous cleaning of evidence, it was all part of the ritual. A ritual that allowed me to relive the acts, to savor the feeling of control once more. And then, the courtroom drama, the cross-examinations, the media attention, it was another form of control, an attempt to manipulate even in the face of overwhelming evidence. Perhaps deep down, I wanted them to understand, to see the twisted logic that guided me. As my time drew near, I began to confess, to offer glimpses into the darkness that had consumed me. But even in those moments, I clung to the narrative, downplaying the extent of my crimes, maintaining the illusion of control. Looking back, it's as if I was a passenger in my own life, a pawn in a game I couldn't escape. The dichotomy of who I was and who I became, two sides of a coin, forever linked, forever at odds. My actions are a chilling reminder of the capacity for darkness that can lie within even the most charismatic of exteriors.